Morning, everybody. Kevin from All Things Kevin. I am at Emmerich Park, Hillman, Michigan, Thunder Bay River, and we've got ice on it. We've got guys setting up tip-ups on it. So apparently he thinks it's safe enough. I don't know. I'd be a little bit leery. But he's out there. He's got 3 or 4 tip-ups out. So this is an update to the 2025-26 ice fishing season. And you can see Thunder Bay River is frozen over. There's tip-ups on the lake, on the river. Pretty far out. Not for me yet, though. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to go through and update again on the lakes that I visited last week. It's only been 7 days, but I told you by this weekend they'll be out there. So this is an exciting time. You can see there's 4 trucks here besides mine and a permanent shanty. That guy may go out at some point this year with that. And we'll keep you updated. All right, let's keep moving along here. Okay. Again, be careful out there, guys. No swimming. I've got a little story for you, so if you stick around till the end, I'll share that with you. You know where we're going with these signs. Fletcher's Pond. I can almost guarantee you there'll be guys out there. 26 update, and they're out there. Let's take a look. I'm not going out, but these guys sure did. Two of them out there. You see them? There's one over there. Jack's Landing is right there. There's one guy. And about 2 football fields over, there's another guy. Lightly snow coming down. You can see at the shore. Cracked all the way along there. I hope they stay careful. But here we are. They're out there fishing away. All right, Fletcher's Pond. Definitely by next week, there'll be 4 or 5 inches on here. I'm sure there's at least 3 right now. For them to be out that far, I would think so. Okay, here we go. A couple more lakes, and this update will be complete. Again, I want to thank you for joining me. I want to thank you for sticking around to the end because I've got a really nice story to tell. And I thank you for all the new subscribers. Put me over the 500 mark. Okay, Kevin from All Things Kevin back. Here we are on Grass Lake. Nobody's fishing, but it looks frozen, of course. I'm not taking a spud or anything out there. I'm not even walking out there. No trucks are here. You never can tell. One year I was out here And way past that grass area, it was open water, but I was fishing along this area right here where the grass is, and there was 4 to 5 inches back then. So, okay, grass lake, nobody on it, nobody's fishing. Doesn't mean anything, but sun's out, nice morning. We're gonna keep going. Okay, Kevin back here. Can you guys guess where I'm at? It's not that hard. Lake Avalon, Avalon Lake in Hillman. It's probably the last lake to freeze, as you can see. I was here last week and there was no ice on it, maybe a little skim ice on the middle. But this is it, all that's right here. Still amazing blue, clear, but wide open. It's getting there, but not quite even close. Gonna be another few weeks probably, and it's gotta be cold. So, all right, we're gonna keep moving, keep looking, a couple more lakes, we'll be all set. Okay, Kevin back here from All Things Kevin. All right, next stop is Long Lake. And as you can see, there's still some open water in this little bay here. The narrows are straight ahead there. It gets really deep right about in this area over here. But other than that, this is pretty shallow right there. This is all shallow. That looks frozen. But I'm not spudding anything, so I can't tell you. I'm not even walking out on it yet. Okay, Long Lake. I'm sure the main lake is not much better. All right.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. With the kids
Yes, it is the most wonderful time of the year. Here I am on my private lake, and this is the last lake I'll be on. We're giving a report and my story. I want to be real with you guys for a few minutes. If you give me that opportunity, I'm going to sit here facing the sun and share a little extreme story with you. Hopefully I don't have to edit this, but I want you to listen to me. Last week I gave a report on this lake. This was the first one that froze over. And of course it wasn't walkable. But we had a couple cold nights, couple cold days in between that and Wednesday. And I thought I was going to be brave and go out there on Wednesday. Well, on the shore, 30 feet out, it was 3 inches. I took the spud and I walked that way. And it was relatively safe. I got about halfway in between the little bay there, put a hole in, and it was 3 inches. And of course, I didn't catch anything, so I thought I would move on to the main center of the lake, So I picked up my stuff, took my sled, and started walking that way. And I heard some cracking. I put the sled down and it went right through. I said, okay, time to turn around. I did. And the second I did that, I was in the water. Yeah, it was really scary, guys. I was in the water for almost 20 minutes. You know, they tell you to spud, they tell you to have your spikes, your ice picks, a float suit. But let me tell you, if you don't have the body strength or safe ice to crawl back up onto, you're not going to make it. I almost didn't make it. Now, before I get all religious on you, which I'm not, but I do have a relationship with the Lord God Almighty, I believe in divine intervention. My wife was on the phone in our living room. She went to go pick up the binoculars and take a look at me. When she did, she saw me go in. She hung up the phone, ran outside, and I was yelling for help because I was already struggling at that time. At the same time, on that road, just beyond the campers, the owner of Thunder Bay Golf Course and his dad were driving by. They saw me go in at that exact same moment and stopped their car. And he ran out, started walking on the ice, because every time I try to get up on the ice, more would crack. I could not find any safe ice at that point. It was getting cold. I was getting cold. I was getting totally wet. My boots were filling up. As a matter of fact, I have a boot and my spud laying down at the bottom of the lake there. That's why I didn't bring it with me. But anyways, that young man walked out on the ice with no jacket on. And I'm looking at him saying, "Where's your jacket? You're going to freeze." I said, "Don't come out too far because it's starting to crack." He goes, "I know." I said, "You're going to need a rope." So he went back to his dad, who was standing on the shore. They grabbed a tow strap and he walked back out 20 feet from where I was and tried to throw it to me. Missed the first time, rolled it back up. And I'm really struggling at this point. I'm colder than cold. My feet were numb. Both boots are off now. One glove is off. And I'm thinking, am I going to make this? So he throws me the strap again and I catch it. And I wrap it around my arm. He starts pulling on me, struggling to get me above the ice. One last tug, and he popped me up. And I was so exhausted at that point, I said, "Just give me a second to catch my breath." And he said, "Nope, I'm going to start dragging you." So he started dragging me from that point, midpoint, all the way about halfway. I said, "I can't do it anymore. You're going to have to." So he came to me and took my legs. I was on my back, and he dragged me from about halfway all the way to the shore. In the meantime, my wife had called 911. Two of the EMS guys were standing here waiting for me to get to the shore and said, "I got to walk to the truck." So after all that, I could barely stand up. My feet were numb, and they were starting to drag me. And I was trying to walk. It felt like two stumps walking. I was hunched over, but I knew I made it. By God's grace, I made it. And perfect timing of the two gentlemen that got me out, my wife calling 911. So I just want to say thank you to all the EMS guys, to the volunteer firemen that showed up and retrieved my stuff sitting on the ice, and especially to the owner who really saved my life. So, before I get religious on you, I do believe in God. I do believe I have a Savior. His name is Jesus Christ, and I give him all the glory for it. And most of all, I just want to apologize to putting other people's lives at risk. I want to apologize for not listening to my wife, who is a praying, godly woman. I love you, Jojo. Yes, I will listen to you from now on and stay off the ice when you think it's not safe. I want to apologize to my kids and to the rest of my family, my brother, brother-in-law, sister, my mom, stepdad, for putting you at stress end of not knowing what was going on. So I do that, mean that from the bottom of my heart. And when I say be careful, guys, a fish is not worth your life. So that's my story. It had a happy ending, but it almost didn't. So I thank God for my life and his divine intervention, divine timely intervention. So if you have any questions, any thoughts, comments, concerns on how to know the assurance that I know, please leave me a message, leave a comment, and I will personally share with you on how to know without a shadow of a doubt if you're not coming out of the water where you're going to end up. Because we're not promised tomorrow, we're not promised this afternoon, we're not promised the nighttime. So it's good to know where you're going to be if that promise comes true and you end up somewhere else. There's only two places that I know of. Make sure it's the right one. Do you know where you're going?
Praise to the Lord, the Almighty, the King of
Kevin from All Things Kevin.
Creation. Oh, my soul, praise.
Glad to be alive.